The best things about high school was that I had good teachers. Like, they made sure that we understood what we were doing. Like in math, they'd make sure we understand every step that we're taking, how to get to the correct answer. Seeing my friends, like, I didn't like seeing a friend drop out or miss school, so it was always good to see them going to school every day. Learning about all the opportunities I could take when I'm done school, that helped a lot to see where I wanted to go, or if I wanted to do this certain job or that job. Teachers and the Alluriarniq course that we took in high school, that really helped me grow as a person, like who I wanted to be, how I wanted to present myself. And it also taught us that there's more to life than just one thing, like I could do this thing and then do that at the same time. It just taught me a lot about life after high school. Prepared me, I guess I could say. I had so many. Leland Olson was my English teacher, but he was my English teacher for junior high. And my English teacher was the late Dawn Tweedy. She was my favorite teacher. Life skills mostly. How to be prepared for when you're applying for a job or job interviews, writing up resumes, how to present yourself and how to know who you are and know how to handle things in the right way and not in a negative way. I learned how to present myself to people. Like, if I didn't go to take that course, if that course wasn't there when I was in high school, I don't know how presentable I would be or how ready I would be for life after high school, because I was kind of scared about what am I going to do when I'm done school, and that prepared me just a little enough to say, okay, I can do it. It's hard to say. There wasn't much that was hard or that I didn't like. I guess in junior high we always had Inuit classes, and then going into high school and then just not taking any classes again after that. It's kind of hard to, you know, I never thought about it then, but now that I think about it, I'm like, oh, I wish I had Inuit in high school right to the end. I guess that was the hard part. I see the kids now, and I know now how important it is and to know our language, because I didn't really see it as, I need to learn it now. I saw it as, oh, I'm doing it now, but, I didn't see the other side of it. I'm on the other side now, where I see how important it is to know your language and to speak it and, get used to it. I think I see that now because it's hard to explain. Talking with parents and students, I ask the students here and there, how do you feel about your language? How much of it do you know? And they say so little, but they're getting motivated to learn it more, I guess. So seeing them want to learn it makes me want to know it more so I can teach them and help them. I think that explains a little.
Yeah.
After I left high school and I was in grade 12, I was pregnant with my first daughter, Dora Kelly, and I graduated right around the time that she was born. So right after high school for about a year, I was home with her and just raising her. And then once she got old enough to stay with a babysitter or go to daycare, I worked at the FASD pilot project as a coordinator, and I worked there for, I'd say, half a year-ish. And then after that, I worked at the library as a librarian for a summer. And then I took a student support assistant job at the high school. And I did that for about a year and a half or two. And then now I'm the language specialist. A higher attendance so we can do class activities without, or like class groups, group work and stuff like that with lots of kids so that there won't be one or two left out. So attendance, I'd like to see that somehow improve. And I'd like to see it be more accessible and more easier. I don't know if easier is the right word, but for an elders to come in without having to go through the process of paperwork, like getting the criminal record checks and the information you need to pay them. I know that you kind of have to do that, but I mean, they're elders. Like, why would we need to certify someone? Right now, we have a half-time position at the high school for an elder. So she's in every afternoon. That's really, really big help. And right now, they have a sewing program going on. So there's 2 elders in the school every afternoon, but it's a different program than in my class. So that's what we have now. And when we do our elders fishing or the fishing trips or the day trips, we try our hardest to have elders hired and they be around the students. I think it's important because our kids need to see that they have knowledge and wisdom that they want to share, and they're going to always be there for the youth. It's just important for the youth to get more closer with their elder and become, how you say, there's a gap right now between a youth and an elder. We need to kind of find a way to close that and bring everybody together. No, not yet. Maybe like 10 years down the road when I, taken language classes or spent a lot more time with other elders, then maybe I could see myself, speaking it more. I grew up on the land with my grandparents, but they adopted me, my late mother, Marion Bolt and Charlie Bolt. While we were out there, they only spoke in Inuit to me, and I understood them all the way. And I don't know why, and I kind of kill myself now for not doing it, but I never ever responded back as much as I should have in Inuit. Like, I can comprehend and I can hear and I can understand what they're saying, but I just never brought myself to spit out words. Like, I got the sentence in my head, but it could never ever come out as in Inuit. So I learned a lot from them. And because we were out of town maybe half the year, every year. Like, we'd go out in the summer and wait for the ice to come back, and then we'd come back by a machine. Or we'd go by a machine and then come back by boat. So we were always out. So I learned most of my language and my culture from my parents, and I think I don't think, I know that they were my best teachers that I can ever have. So I tried to take in most of what they told me and what they taught me, and I try really hard to remember the way they said things or the way they did things. I'd respond to them in English. Maybe I'd say one Inuit word to go in that sentence, but my responses were in English, and I don't know why I did that. They went to residential school when they were young, I guess. So that's where they learned English, and yeah, I guess that's where they would have learned it. Best lessons I've learned was the land, like knowing where I am at all times, having the satisfaction of saying, okay, I know where I am, I'm not gonna get lost if I ever come this way. So I know the route, and that was very important for my dad to teach me, that I know, like, what this island's name is and which way you have to go to next. And it was also the cooking part and preparing the meat properly. I found that was more important than, well, knowing the land is important, but I'm a woman, I gotta know how to prepare meat and butcher a caribou or whatever. They put out a job ad, and then they came to me and asked if I was interested in applying for that position I'm in right now. And I hesitated for about a year, and I didn't apply, and I didn't think about it as much. And then my good colleague, my good colleague, late Dawn Tweedy, she kind of talked to me, and she said, she encouraged me, and she gave me the support I needed. So I applied for the job, and I had an interview, and then within the next month, I guess, I was in the classroom preparing things and learning words and writing my words down so that I won't forget them. I feel like I need to learn more myself and grow myself, in that field. I need to grow, I need to become stronger, and I need to motivate these kids in some way to want to learn it. That's how I feel. I need to, I feel like I need to learn more so I can give more. I think that's a good way to say it. My boss, he approached me, I don't know, at the beginning of the school year, and he said, hey, what's going to help you a lot is if you do the master-apprentice program. And I thought about it for a long time, and I thought about it, and I thought about it. And then it kind of slipped my head. And then I saw Millie one day at the DEA table talk with the community. And I asked her, hey, you want to be my master, in language? And she agreed, and right then on that spot was when we started. So this is the journey I'm going to be on for a while. That's going to help a lot. That from that point on until, like, then forever, was she said that it's always got to be Inuit. I will talk to you in Inuit, and then you need to do your best to speak it back to her in Inuit, and she's still gonna teach me new words that I haven't heard before. Or like when we did that Kingalik earlier, I learned lots of words that I've never heard before. I guess because I didn't say a Qingalik before, but so everything that we do, even on Facebook, she'll write on my wall and write it all in Inuit, and I'll be like, because I need to practice my reading skills too. Home. Like, I live with my dad, and he's an elder, and he speaks Inuit a lot. Like, I talk to him in Inuit, and I do my best to piece sentences together, and he'd be like, "What?" That's when I need to learn to put my words together in a proper sequence, right? So I speak to him in Inuit, and he does vice versa. There's the Elder Center, but I haven't gone there since, I guess I was in elementary school, and we had the Bright Futures program. That was grade 6. My daughter, yes, I do speak to her in Inuit, and she understands it. Like if I told her, "Ukkwak Ukkwak, close the door," she's going to close the door. Or "Ingid Lutin, sit here," she'll sit. Or "Naganakayok," and then she knows it's time to come down and eat. Even just telling her to listen or telling her to stop it, I find it's more effective if I say it in Inuit, Like she'll listen more than if I said stop it, she'd be like, she wouldn't stop what she was doing. But if I said daimak, then she would drop and then listen. So, and my dad also speaks to her a lot in Inuit, and I tell him to speak to her a lot in Inuit so that she can hear it and learn it. And if she doesn't understand what we're saying, she'd be like, "What is that?" And then I tell her, I translate for her, and she'd say, "Oh," she knows what it is now. And then a couple hours later, I'll say it again, and then she'll understand what I said, so that we do our best to talk to her in Inuit, but there's so very little kids her age that, like, she can't go to her little friend and ask Kanawat bit, because they won't understand it as much as she would. I guess it's a good way to say it. Yeah, I guess that's a way to put it. Like, at the preschool, they have a lot of Inuit speaking teachers there, and that's a good thing. And with Dora Kelly having preschool in Inuit and after school, me talking to her in Inuit, I guess it's going to help her learn more of the language. It's going to be a challenge, a really big challenge. If they wanted bilingual graduating students, they should have said this a long time ago and be more prepared for it, be more prepared to deliver the resources that we need to help these kids become bilingual graduates. It's going to be a big challenge for resources, like for books and materials and that are in our language. It's going to be a big challenge to find it's going to be a challenge to find the qualified person to deliver all the programs and all the schoolwork and the Inuit, and that's going to be a challenge too, because if I was a parent and my kid was had to graduate bilingual, then I would want somebody more experienced than me to be in there, you know what I mean? That's going to be hard. And if Dora Kelly goes to junior high and going into high school, then yeah, I'd want somebody that's more experienced. I guess, yeah. I'd be more comfortable with somebody in there teaching her such a big thing to know, you know? 2 years from now, it's a hard thing because my life is just kind of here, there, everywhere sometimes, and then I think about all these things I want to do, but then there's always a block. So 2 years from now, I like to hope that I'm still in the school, in the education system somehow. I'd hope in 2 years that I can speak more of my language and I can be more comfortable to express myself in Inuit, you know? Like, I want to teach my friends that are 23 years old how to ask me what's up or how are you or what are you going to do after, phone me, you know, it's just basic conversation. In 2 years I want to be able to talk like that to a friend or a cousin. Or like if I wanted to go to university or to college or wherever to get my degree in teaching, then I'd have to leave home. And I can't just take my daughter and go, you know? I can't just leave my 7-year-old dad in a house all alone. I know he's capable of taking care of himself and taking care of the house and bills. I just don't want to leave him with that burden, you know? I want him to be old and do the things that he likes to do, like camping and hunting and providing for us without having to worry about the bills or stuff like that. So I can't just up and leave, and I can't take him to the south or he'd go crazy. He'd try to go to the zoo and go hunting. So that's the main thing that keeps me home. I'd be teaching more of my age group the language, I guess. That's what I think I want to that's where I think I want to be in 10 years is, you know, having a class of maybe 10 adults that are my age, and we can build and find a master that they can work with. You know, I just want to encourage people to put the time and the effort in to learn, you know. Then it's just gonna die, because if people my age are not speaking it now, then who's speaking it to their kids? And if their kids don't hear it, who's gonna speak it to their kids? You know, it's just gonna deteriorate. We know it's gonna be gone one day, but we're trying not to. I want to see it not past the point of nobody knowing one word or 2 words. That'll be something hard for especially the elders to think about. Oh, my grandkids are not gonna know who we are as people and what we went through. So I think it's important to at least try it and, you know, build on if you have some basic knowledge of the language, then build on it. Just keep going. When I was in high school, I had all these wild thoughts things I wanted to do. Like, I wanted to go away to university and move to the big city, and I never thought I'd be in the community yet. Like, I knew by this time it would have been 4 years past that I graduated school. Then I'd be back at home working somewhere with whatever degree I came home with. But I never thought that I'd be in the school being a teacher. People look at me and be like, I didn't see you working in a school at all. But now that I look at it, I can't see myself working anywhere else but the school. That's all I know, and I think that's all that I'm gonna love to do. I try to picture myself working in an office building behind a desk. And I think 8:30 to 5, it's kind of gotta be boring just to sit there and work and not have nobody to talk to but the phone. So I'm kind of glad that I am where I am at right now, and I'd like to build on it somehow. The advice that I would give to people young and old, or like young and younger than me and same age as me and a little bit above, you know, find the encouragement and the motivation to speak your language, to learn it, to do the steps that you need to do to educate yourself, I guess. Visit the elders, go have tea, find a master would be a good thing, because there's funding for stuff like that. You can find the funding to be an apprentice and then have a master that you go to, even just for 1 hour 3 times a week. It would make a big difference.